Hey everybody, Deshaun Walton here. This particular video is not to promote any upcoming ROV shows or to promote any upcoming projects regarding VWU, ROV, DCA, or anything of the sort. Because this is a video that I wasn't even sure if I wanted to make the same way that Hakeem and Mick and a whole lot of other people have made in the community. Uh, for those who are fans of Ring of Valiants as well as VWU, CCL, DCA, ACW, ECW, and so many other, a few weeks ago, roughly 3 or 4, give or take, uh, one of the most legendary figures in the call community left this world, left this life. That, of course, being the incomparable Eddie Mack. And in a normal circumstance, I would be crying my eyes out and bawling and everything. But it's like, with everything that all of us have gone through the last few weeks and the last few months, especially from September to now, in Eddie's regard, it's kind of hard to cry anymore because most of us have basically cried out every last tear that we can. Some of us, though, obviously haven't because this is something that hits hard. And what is even more sad and painful for me is that I was the one who had to break the news to everybody in the VWU. And it absolutely sucks. Because 2 or 3 weeks prior to me finding out about Eddie's passing, he and I were in discussions about having 3 of my characters be a part of the VWU Rumble or a CCL Rumble. I don't exactly remember what. And that was actually the last time I had discussed anything call related with him. And we had all figured when he had gotten his second COVID vaccination shot, maybe a week or so prior, or maybe a week or so later, I don't exactly remember because my memory is that messed up, but he had gotten his second COVID vaccination shot, popped in Discord one day, I guess to keep us all up to date on what was going to happen with the Infinity Rumble or whatever it was, and that was the last day anybody in the VWU had heard from him. And a week went by, and Charles Schultz, who was a damn good friend of Eddie's, who also considers Eddie like a father figure to him, as do a lot of us. Charles had DM'd me on Discord, I believe, and he was letting me know, like, hey, can you find the number to Eddie's roommate? He's been gone for at least 5 or 6 days now, going on a week. And I tried looking around through my phone messages to see if I could find Eddie's roommate's number because, like I said, this past August, September, and Eddie has said this as well, he had 2 seizures, and I don't know if he mentioned this, and I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying this, but I'll say it anyway. He had 2 seizures in late August, and a suicide scare about 2 weeks prior to Redemption 2020 that I talked him out of. And last summer, was not an easy time for me, especially considering that my now girlfriend, Mandy Herrera, was going through her own suicide scare. Uh, and the latter half of summer absolutely sucked last year, especially for me with all that I dealt with in that regard. Um, but from September to now, Eddie seemed like he was on a good road to recovery, and we all figured that everything was going to be fine and everything was going to be all right, because he was more than likely planning to have CCL's last season anyways. So either way, this season of CCL was likely going to be the last one. And depending on who you talk to, maybe it would have went to a season 12, maybe not. I wouldn't know personally, so you would have to ask the VWU crew directly. But for about 8 months, from September to like maybe early May, everything seemed to be going all right, despite a lot of behind the scenes drama that I won't mention, just out of respect for Eddie and everybody in the VWU. But Eddie seemed to be getting back on track and slowly regaining some of his memory back from the seizures and suicide scare and everything. And we were all gonna be, just doing our usual, producing our shows, coming out with great content, having a few laughs and everything. Like we always usually do, like just busting each other's balls, giving each other shit, cracking jokes on each other, and uh, the last 8 months seemed like nothing could stop any of us. Uh, then, as I said, Charles told me to try to find the phone number for Eddie's roommate, and Jamal Bedlam did the same thing. He told me try to find the phone number for Eddie's roommate. And I couldn't find it for like a good 2 weeks after I last heard from Eddie. And then 2 weeks went by, and Jamal had found a phone number that Hit Kid Worldwide had sent to him from back in September when Eddie had his suicide scare and seizures. And he gave that number to me, and I texted that number. Didn't get a response for like maybe 2 or 3 days, maybe even 4 after I had texted the number. Or maybe it was a week, I'm not sure, because in a situation like this, it's almost as if time stops every time I speak of it and every time I think about it. But 2 or 3 days went by. I was actually in the middle of just going over creative stuff with Mandy for her character going forward in ROV. And I think I was also in the middle of finalizing things for episode 14. And I randomly pick up my phone just to look at it, kind of like I am right now. And I look in my text messages and see a text from Eddie's roommate. And he said that unfortunately Eddie Mack had passed away. And I'm in this VC with Mandy on Discord, and I said, Jesus Christ, no. Shit, no. Oh my god, no. And Mandy was asking me what happened, and she was actually the first person who found out from me that Eddie had passed away. And I told her, like, honey, Eddie's roommate just texted me and told me that he had passed away. And I instantly facepalmed with sadness. And if there's anything that I hate in this world, it's to have to break extremely bad news to people. And I'm almost positive that the VWU crew were just finishing up a commentary session. And I was just gonna do my usual pop in there, say what's up to everybody, um, giving them an update on whether or not if I had heard from Eddie's roommate or if I had heard from Eddie at all. And then we would have just been cracking jokes that whole night and just doing our usual and waiting for Eddie to come back so that way we could get back into the swing of things. Unfortunately, that night, June 7th, June 8th, it was not the case at all. Um, like, when I had read that text, like, I'm still getting chills thinking about it. Like, I'm still unsure what to think, and it's almost a month later after hearing the news. When I heard that, like, instantly my heart sank. And with all that I was going through for weeks prior to that, like me having mental breakdowns and all that stuff, but that's another story for another time. With all that I was going through, uh, during like May and June and all that, like I could not cry because like I feel I had somewhat of an obligation to be strong, but a lot of us are still weak because Eddie was 9 times out of 10, maybe even 10 times out of 10, the strongest out of anybody in this community. Um, so I told Mandy and the VC that I'd be right back because I have to break this news to Charles and Jamal and everybody. So I pinged HitKid in the ROV Discord and I told him, "Are you guys busy in a commentary session? I have urgent news." And he told me everything was good, come in. And I broke it, the news, I broke the news to everybody. And you ever have that feeling when you feel like you've been punched in the gut so hard that you just can't breathe? Like, that was kind of the feeling that everybody got the second that I broke the news to them. And it absolutely sucks that I had to be the one to do it. Not because of any issues or anything, because I love the entire VWU crew, the CCL DCA crew that records and commentates and all of that. But because, like I said, I hate being the one to have to break extremely bad news like this to people. And personally, a lot of us can't thank Eddie enough for all of the memories, all of the laughs that he's given us. Um, it's funny. Uh, Last summer, actually, around this time last summer, at the start of summer, Eddie Mack actually helped me with commentary over my eFed exclusive standalone show, eFed Mania. And there's one quote on that show that I will always remember for the rest of my life, and I will never let Lars Wild live it down. um, it was the end of the show, the end of eFed Mania, after myself and the Virgil Snow character had our words. Some was in character, some was in shoot, but uh, there's two things actually on that show that Eddie said. Um, he said when I called Virgil Snow by his shoot name and Eddie straight up whispered loud as hell into the mic, "Did he just call him by his government?" And I freaking cackled loud as hell the second I heard him say that. And it's like every time I go back to watch eFed Mania with the whole brawl at the end of the show, when Lars Wild jumps in the ring and just starts beating everybody up, Eddie Mack screams at the top of his lungs, "Ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars. Lars Wild is wearing shoes at eFed Mania." And the way he said it was just so convincing that it pops me every time I think about it. Um, I still give Lars shit for that, and he gives me shit for it too. But in the end, at the end of the day, that's what Caw is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be just a game. Like, it's supposed to be just a hobby. And it's fun for a lot of us for a lot of reasons. Obviously, the last, I don't know, 7 or 8 months of my life, personally, have not been fun, especially unless I was around the VWU crew. Being around the VWU guys in the short year and a half that I've known them has taught me quite a lot. Like, they teach me so much that not even I knew. And I like to think that I have taught them quite a lot as well. But at the end of the day, that's what Caw is about. It's about fun. It's about gaming. It's about just having fun with your friends and teaching each other things. And just helping each other out when it's needed. To circle back to the whole eFed Mania thing, I was originally going to commentate over the show as my Ryan Stone commentary character. But because I was not feeling well mentally or physically during that time, like, I really could not, I really couldn't bring myself to commentate over the show. So I needed help from somebody in the community to help me commentate over the show. And the first person that I could think of, with help thanks from Hit Kid and I believe D-Wall as well, they both helped me link up with Eddie, and Eddie helped me commentate over the show. And this is the part where I really hate that I'm never going to be able to full on thank him for helping me commentate over that entire show, which is nearly 7 hours long. And it's like, if I can find somebody just as crazy as me to commentate over a show that long, it would either have to have been Tom Jerkin, who I thank again for commentating over Buckle Up a couple years back, or Eddie Mack, who may just have been crazier than Tom Jerkin enough to commentate over eFed Mania, despite it being damn near 7 hours long. I always said in the back of my mind, Eddie, I owe you one. If you need me to come commentate for CCL or any other shows alongside you, I got you. And it hurts that 9.5 times out of 10, I'm probably never going to be able to repay him for everything he did for me in regards to commentating over eFed Mania. But I do find solace in knowing that Eddie Mack always gave 150,000% in everything that he did. And anybody that says that they've given more is a goddamn liar. To put a cap on this, because this is kind of reminding me of when I first started in Caw, and I cut 30-minute promos every fucking time I got on the mic. To put a cap on this, I know Eddie is watching over all of us, letting us know how proud he is of us and how far we have come and how far we're going to go. Because everybody was heartbroken, like I said, when I broke the news. And it really sucks that everybody had to come together in unison and harmony like this. Because there's a lot of other ways that people can come together in unison and harmony without this. Basically is like a family death, because Eddie is a part of the Kaw family. Like, he's like a father figure to a lot of people. And if there's anybody who knows what it's like to feel like a father figure to somebody, if it's not Eddie, it's Hakeem. Because Hakeem's been around since 2006, like he said. He's one guy who's been here basically longer than all of us. And basically now, like Hakeem said in the Discord a few weeks ago, he's basically the elder statesman now when it comes to the VWU side of the Kaw community. I can only hope that Eddie is resting peacefully and is not feeling any pain anymore. Because myself and a lot of other people are going to do what we can, how we can, to honor his legacy. Because that's what Eddie deserves. I want Eddie's death to be a reminder as well as a lesson to not just the VWU, not just DCA, not just Klon, not just ACW, ECW, or any of the big leagues like FAM, SWW, whatever. I want Eddie Mack's death to serve as a lesson to everybody. And I told this to the VWU guys, I told this to Krim and Rick, I told this to the ROV crew, and I'm telling it to everybody here. Life is far too short to hold grudges, so whatever beefs you may have, whether it be in character or in shoot, or if you're a leader of one league that has a problem with the leader of another league, whatever beefs you have, dead that shit right now. Cut the shit out. Because it's not worth holding a grudge against somebody, especially when you don't know what your last words to them will be. I really did not want to make this video, especially a few weeks ago when everything was still fresh, and truth be told, everything is fresh now. But Eddie would have been the first one to say the show must go on, and indeed it shall. So I am definitely positive that every single VWU, DCA, ROV, UWL, ACW, ECW show, like every single one from now until forever, is going to be dedicated to Eddie Mack's memory. Because that's how much he means to me, that's how much he means to them, and that's how much he should mean to everybody. I really hope that this serves as a lesson that beefing with people over a video game and over Discord messages and all of that shit, I really hope Eddie's passing serves as a lesson that life is not worth losing friendships and at the end of the day, this is all just a game, this is all just a hobby, and this is all supposed to be fun. So all the ego tripping folks in CAW, all the people who act holier than thou, take the time to realize that, I hate to have to quote myself here, but there's other ways to unite the community. And again, it absolutely is shitty and it fucking sucks that this beloved man's passing is how the community has to be united. But I know for a fact that Eddie united the community even before his passing. I know he brought a lot of people together. And I know that folks in a lot of the shows that I help produce to some degree or another. I know a lot of folks in those shows outside of character are fighting a lot of demons. And I'm pretty sure that Eddie would have been the very first one to let them know that everything is going to be okay. And on behalf of him, and on behalf of the whole VWU, ROV, DCA crews, and everybody else, I personally am letting this be known now. No matter what demons you fight, no matter what mental issues you may have, at the end of the day, you're not alone in this fight. Because we all go through it. This right here, Eddie Mac's passing is a bump in the road that's going to be a struggle to get past. Especially since we all know that Eddie is watching over us, proud of how far we come and how far we're going to go, not just in CAW, but in life. Because Hakeem hit it right on the head. Like, there's a lot more important things in this world than just CAW. And even before I had officially met Hakeem, like, I had been saying that for the longest time. And I've only been here not even 5 years yet. But, again, let Eddie's passing serve as a lesson. Life is too short to be beefing over a video game and over Discord. And it's damn sure too short to act holier than thou and act like you're the biggest dog in the yard when really, in all actuality, every single person in this community started off the exact same way. So, again, I hope Eddie Mac is resting peacefully. Because without him, and I'm pretty sure he knew this and knows this, but I'm going to let it be known anyway. Without Eddie Mac, a lot of us wouldn't even be here. Without him, a lot of us would have quit a long time ago. A lot of us owe Eddie Mac everything. And if the opportunity presents itself, if I ever get the chance to commentate over a CCL show, once we figure out all the happenings with Eddie's PS4 and hard drives, that I'm still trying to get in touch with his brother about, if the opportunity ever presents itself to commentate over a CCL show, just one, it doesn't matter how many, if I ever get the opportunity to commentate over one CCL show, like, I'm gonna give it my all, and I'm gonna do it for him, because everybody in this community claims to be the best when it comes to commentary. But there's nobody greater than Eddie Mack. Nobody greater than him. Nobody better than him. But, with all that said, remember everybody, life is too short to hold grudges, especially over a video game. Remember that we all started off the exact same way. And please tell your loved ones both in call and out just how much you love them and how much you appreciate them for everything they've helped you through. Because life isn't promised for any of us. Like, for example, 5 minutes after this video goes up, I might not be here. But I love you all. I want you all to be safe during these trying times. And I want everybody to remember Eddie in a positive light. Because like Hakeem said, I can't recall a time where anybody said anything negative about him. Because I know that the second somebody does say anything negative about him, the entire community is going to be on their ass. So, Eddie, I know you're watching somewhere in the heavens, probably having a sip of cognac with Tupac, Biggie, and Eazy-E. And I hope you can guide us all through the rest of our lives, and give us the strength needed to keep on keeping on, because that's about all we can do. All that said, I love you guys, and I will see you all whenever, as will the rest of the VWU community. Much love. Thank you very much. Bye.